Hello everyone and welcome to Real Life Talks. I'm Yvonne Heath, your host and founder of the I Just Showed Up movement. So joining me today is my new friend, Tom Oldershaw. I am so happy that you're here. I want to hug you right now. It's hard for me, but we're all mic'd up, so I can't.
Thank you.
Yes,
Yvonne.
welcome to the show.
Thank
and yes, you are someone that how long ago did we meet? It was several months.
Several months ago.
And,
yeah.
Yes, and we just
beginning
stayed
of
connected.
the summer, I think it was. Yeah,
somewhere around there. But I started reading everything that you've done and everything that you aspire to do, and something really stands out that you are all about is making the difference.
Correct.
Not even just making a difference, making
the
difference. So
yes.
What does that mean to you? Tell us.
I think it really comes down to changing the lives of individuals that are homeless. Mm-hmm. And we have a major program that goes on, the Making the Difference. We have set up the Oldershaw Making the Difference Endowment Fund. Mm-hmm. And with that fund, the goal is to raise $1 million by the year 2026. And when it comes down to raising $1 million, I've just been thinking, I have an opportunity to build a business that should allow me to put in $100,000 a year for the next 8 years. And in addition to that, we will do fundraising events to raise the other $200,000. So that's part of the process that we go through.
Yes.
The endowment fund really comes down to helping those individuals that are experiencing homelessness and poverty. Mm-hmm. And there is virtually our mission when it comes to making the difference is to really do, it's a fivefold mission in terms of helping women and children get out of the lives that they're in when they're certainly experiencing homelessness, to make the community aware of homelessness.
Yes.
And it's surprising as you go through the community, the number of individuals that don't realize there is people homeless in, for example, Barrie, or take the attitude that every homeless person is a thief,
or drunk,
or an addict, or until you look behind each of those individuals, and there is a story behind each individual.
Of course.
They are people.
I always say, and even if those are the situations that they are in, they need help and they have value and they matter. But I love that I need to share your age, because you're saying in the next 8 years I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. So Tom, do you mind sharing how old you are at this point?
I just turned 76.
Did you hear that? 76, and you're a passionate advocate, and I love it.
There is a key. It's mind over matter.
Yes.
But if I don't mind, it doesn't matter.
Yes, well, there you go. And you've shared many of your jokes with us earlier, and they were really funny.
Cool, yeah.
But, you know, there's so many people that think you reach a certain age and you can't make a difference, let alone the difference, but apparently you don't live by that motto.
No. Part of the awareness for the Oldershaw Making the Difference Endowment Fund is a ride that I do.
Yes.
And when it comes to the ride, just finished riding on August the 11th, 12th, somewhere in there. About 160 kilometers, a 12-hour ride. And the funny thing about my training is that the next day there was no stiffness, there was no tiredness, there was just another super fantastic day.
Do you know what I would feel like if I rode that far? I feel embarrassed right now because I would most likely be crippled. But so you're telling me that August 11th, 2018 at age 76. And actually we have this amazing picture here. This is a few years ago, but this is you on your bike.
Yeah.
You're sporting the sportswear.
And that actually goes back to 2012, the Olympic years.
Yes.
And part of my family background is Olympians when it comes to canoeing and kayaking. Wow. So there's a big history. And funny enough, that year, my nephew, Mark Oldershaw, took a let me see, gold, silver, bronze medal in the 2012 Olympics in London.
Oh, okay.
And the ironic part about the whole process was my Uncle Bert paddled in the 48 Olympics, paddled 3 consecutive Olympics.
My goodness.
Is in the Olympic Hall of Fame. And it was 64 years later in London, again, that Mark won his medal.
So what did he win a medal for?
Again, canoeing.
Oh,
it was,
wow, that's incredible.
Singles canoeing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it's been phenomenal. That whole family, actually, when it comes to Olympians, there was, I think, 3 sons, 2 daughters, all paddled in various Olympics throughout the time frame.
Wow.
And it was Adam Van Couverden, who is a gold medal kayaker, and Mark Oldershaw were both coached by Scott Oldershaw. So that whole process is, they are all high-level Olympians.
Yeah, so you have some good athletic genes in your family. And I see, is this what you wore here? This is your jacket?
This is my riding jersey.
Yes,
yeah.
and I see all these little pins.
The pins.
The pins.
Actually, each pin is significant. It has a story behind the pin.
But we can't tell each story because otherwise we won't be able to talk about anything else. But they all have a symbolic of something you've done.
Behind the pin.
Yes.
Yeah. And just as an example, the 150, which was Canada's birthday last year, I rode 150 kilometers for my ride.
This is incredible.
I've done up to a 2-day ride. And that 2-day ride was 450 kilometers of riding. So,
wow.
And back in 2012, started when I sat on the board of the Busby Center and did an awareness ride for the Busby Center. And it's evolved as we've gone through the years until we've set up our own endowment fund.
I read this story here, Inspirations, Making the Difference, and you're guided by the belief, passion, and desire that every life has equal value. And you want to work to help those individuals experiencing homelessness or poverty to lead healthy, productive lives. And truly, sometimes that's all it takes, is that belief, lending a helping hand, reaching out. And Jamie Hall was a guest, and we talked about the fact that we can all make a little bit of a difference, and all together we can make the difference as well.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. And I think part of it too is, I've seen and I've helped or assisted in helping individuals that get down on themselves. They're homeless, who would want to help me. I'm a bum and I've got no family. I'm just giving up. And that wasn't the case. I can remember one individual where got down on himself, found employment, worked, but fell off a ladder, broke his heel. But the story was, that individual was getting the breaks in life. So we convinced him that the broken heel was
Literally.
a break in life.
Yeah.
He got new glasses, which allowed him a new outlook on life.
Wow.
So it's things like that. And again, I throw in humor because it helps everybody.
It's already serious enough,
and,
isn't it?
And it's serious enough, but again, with the humor, if you can produce a smile on people's face, it makes a big, big difference.
You are so right, and I've often said that, even when, no matter if people are grieving, facing a challenge, life, a crisis, it's already serious enough. So if you could actually just give them a little break of laughter, a little glimpse of joy in all of this, then
Exactly.
how wonderful.
And it really comes down to you just have to show up.
You just have to show up. And
I don't know where I've heard that
I don't know.
before.
I don't know where
Yeah.
you would have heard that.
But-
Thanks
but-
for the plug-in. But it's true. When you don't know what to do, you don't know what to say, just show up. And we're not all going to do a big ride like you, because I literally would be paralyzed. But, I mean, are there other ways people could support what you do or your foundation, or how do...
Certainly, when it comes to the foundation's managed by the Barrie Community Foundation, which is part of a Canada-wide foundation group that manages millions or billions of dollars. If you go to their website, you will see and follow the instructions, you will see the Oldershaw Making the Difference Endowment Fund. Failing that, the Barrie Community Foundation's at 36 George Street in Barrie. Doug Shaw will help you out.
Yeah, there's always something we can do. And it's interesting. I've spoken about homelessness and poverty before. And people think sometimes that it doesn't happen in their community because they don't see people sleeping on the streets everywhere, but homelessness goes deeper than that. And how many people, I know the statistic in a given year, how many Canadians?
Yeah, I think I've read, and this number is probably an older number, but there's something like 200,000 Canadians that are homeless. And I know, again, the Barrie Outreach Van is serving upwards of 100, or can serve upwards of 100 people in a night. So it does show that when it comes to homelessness, there is an existence of homelessness.
Yes, it's
but
everywhere.
I still think the attitude has to be lend a hand up. Don't kick them, the individuals, when they're down.
Absolutely.
And out of all the years I've been involved, I have seen probably one person that has checked the box that said, I'm not starting life at $10 an hour. I will live on the streets. But other than that, I think if you look behind the people, they've got families, they've got lives, there's individuals, they're people, and we need to care about those individuals. And I guess I think it's Teddy Roosevelt that said, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care.
Exactly.
And that goes a long way. I can actually recite a pastor that sat out in front of the Busby Center, dressed in his collar, his black shirt, had jeans on, but his friends were walking past him without turning left or without turning right because they were afraid to look at those individuals. And I admit there's addictions, there's issues, there's drug issues.
You have to be
but
safe.
Those individuals, there's a cause for a lot. I know individuals that started medical drugs because of a car accident and ended up being addicted.
Very easy it can happen to anybody.
And this individual, I think, managed something like 5 clothing retail stores. So it went down from there. But again, most of the individuals, I think if you said, here's an opportunity, here's work,
Yes.
they would take it.
Yes.
Or the other thing in our society is we tend just to look at the individuals that are homeless and not help them outside of the box. We help them through the systems,
Sure.
but we don't ask the question, what can we do to make your life better?
Yes.
And whether it's education, whether it's basic training for individuals, you can help them come out of the system. But we seem to give them enough money to keep them into the system.
Sure. Well, that's
and
just the
to
start,
manage,
right?
yeah,
That's just the
to
beginning.
manage them. If there was more funding, then, and again, it comes to each individual making the difference.
It takes a village, right? And
Yep.
and to me, we are all each other's responsibility.
Exactly.
My responsibility is being the very best version of myself, but I feel when people say, well, that's none of my business. Well, if somebody is struggling, I say, actually, it's all of our business.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
that's the whole inclusion. Right?
Yeah.
Inclusion, everyone. So how did you, of all the things, why did you become so passionate about poverty and homelessness? Obviously, it's a big issue, but there are so many. What drew you to this?
I think if I go back to the beginning, I was probably a person that didn't realize there was issues within the city of, in this case, Barrie.
Yeah.
And even Aurelia, if you follow Aurelia, the city of Aurelia is going through experience as well. But in the beginning, I volunteered to help individuals set up out of the cold in the Bethel Community Church. And from that experience, I was involved, again, with homeless individuals, helping them. From there, I moved to the Busby Center and sat on the board of the Busby Center. I think the good thing now, when it comes to the Busby Center, too, is that they're taking on the Out of the Cold program. So individuals, when it comes to the winter and now summer months, will have a place to sleep other than a mat and a pillow on the floor and a blanket. Certainly better than sleeping in a snowbank.
Oh my goodness.
But again, so that was really the beginning of it all. The other part was I was involved as an entrepreneur setting up a high capital intensive business with low funding and went through some financial struggles on my own. I was fortunate that I had friends and family that could help, but in a lot of cases these individuals do not have friends.
So you
or
see how it
family.
can happen.
And the more I see, they need virtually somebody to stand up for them, to say that, no, these individuals are experiencing, and I think the key word is experiencing homelessness. It's not a permanent occupation.
Yeah.
And again, if these individuals were to get help, then it will make the difference.
That's right. And it's once you know something, like so that you became aware, you can't unsee it.
No,
right? And
no.
I think that's truly what a lot of the stress in our society is, that we're trying to unsee the things that we know are going on, but I can't do anything, or I don't want to do anything actually about it. And really, if you just did a little something, you would feel better and make a difference as well. So I think that's it's really important to have these conversations, because now everyone who listens to this show they've heard it.
Yeah,
it's out there, and there's something you can do.
And again, I follow John Maxwell when it comes to leadership, and I believe totally in intentional living.
Absolutely.
I think everybody needs a purpose, and it makes such a big difference if you have a purpose in life. I think, again, it's an inspiration for myself when it comes to training year-round so that I can ride a couple of 100 kilometers, or again, even thinking about looking after yourself when it comes to health. And again, I think I've mentioned several times that when it comes to you as an individual need to look after your body, or your body will look after you.
Absolutely.
And again, I've looked and glanced at statistics where people riding bicycles beyond 73, it's a very low percentage, I think, on a North American basis. But at the same time, I was sent a video the other day of two individuals. One was 91, one was 86, still riding their tandem bike.
Yes,
so,
I love it.
You know, it can be done. It can be done.
Well, and it's funny because I'm very passionate about that message after, of course, 30 years being in healthcare and watching. There is a great majority of our health issues that we cause ourselves.
Exactly.
I'm not talking about diseases that you have no control over, but many of the things, when you look around, we create our own illnesses, and we say, oh, well, I'm too old to do this, I'm too old to do that, but you're kind of blowing that out of the water, aren't you, Tom?
Exactly. and again, I'm a big believer in preventive health as to letting your health go down the road to where you can't walk anywhere anymore, you can't do anything. I believe that if you take care of yourself, then you are able to do. And I'm also a big believer in an active lifestyle.
Yes.
I'm not really that keen on a non-active lifestyle.
Right. Well, and there are so many people out there that, they'll hear this message, say, oh my gosh, I can't believe he's 76, he's riding this bike. And it's incredible, truly, how far you go. I feel like I'm going to hint to somebody I'm married to get on their bike. But anyway, but we don't all have to get on there and ride 200 kilometers.
No.
But the most important message is, whatever age, if you can walk half a block, start there.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you will do that 3 times a week. And I just encourage people so much, start from wherever you are to get to feeling better. Because it's never too late to improve your health somewhat.
Yep.
At least lean in that direction.
And I believe, just in terms of my surroundings, that when the research says don't smoke, when the research says lead an active lifestyle, when research says look after yourself, that the research in most cases is right.
Of course.
There's a lot of dollars spent in research, and even cancer. The fact that cancer could be prevented in terms of the research that's gone in, it says not a really wise thing to smoke all the time.
Of
but
course.
Yet people keep smoking. And even I don't understand young people that smoke. Again, you look at cigarette packages, you look at...
With the deformed faces and everything. And the price.
Yeah. Well,
Even if you don't care about your health, oh my gosh. It's a fortune. It's a fortune.
Exactly. And just that idea, research says, that maybe it isn't good for you.
Well, I don't even
And
think
to
we
start
need
with-
research to tell us,
yeah.
you know, that.
To start with, I'm an individual that has never smoked.
Right.
So, and I guess I shouldn't say never, have maybe tried once in a while. And I don't like it to start with. So it just
But it is addictive, and there's many people who are addicted.
Exactly.
And so if you smoke, take whatever steps you can, you know, if you want to. And getting back to cancer, which is sadly like an epidemic in our society, I feel like it is my responsibility to be as healthy as I can and to think about the food I eat and whatever exercise, etc. But if something happens to me, I at least want to know that I've tried.
Yes. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and I think that's an important one. So I just absolutely am in awe of everything that you do. You are purposeful. You want to help people. That's what gets you up in the morning, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yes.
And again, it is so much fun to have a purpose. The people you meet, and even the process of what you learn, the learning process that you go through, there's a payback for
It keeps you young.
as an individual. Well, age keeps moving forward, so, but I think keeps you young in terms of your mind. And,
Yes.
and it's the old story. If you don't use it, you lose it. So
Right.
the key is to
Keep on keeping on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And-
Exactly.
And at age 76, you are making the difference.
I am
You
making
are.
the difference.
You are making the difference.
Besides that, I'm an inspiration.
You are very inspirational to me. So tell me, how can people best support you, get in touch with you? What can they do if
Certainly
they want to
when
learn
it-
more about the ride or
Yeah,
anything?
when it comes to the ride, certainly, again, passion meets performance is
Yes.
the other key words. When it comes to the ride itself, the Barrie Community Foundation, the endowment fund is listed on
Okay.
their list of foundations. Certainly, Doug Shaw at the Barrie Community Foundation, 36 George Street, is another key individual when it comes to helping individuals that want to donate.
Have a look, and I want to see your ride next summer. I'm going to be there. So thank you, Tom, for all that you do. Thank you for being here today and sharing your message. I just love you. Keep just showing up.
Okay, thank you. I will
All
just
right.
show up.
So thanks for joining us today. Real Life Talks is a show about learning how to just show up for yourself and just showing up for others, and sometimes having difficult conversations or talking about things we don't normally talk about. So if you want to be able to just show up, you want to be empowered and resilient, my call to action as always is plan your life, plan your death, and then just love your life to death. And always bring your own tambourine to the party. Thanks.